"Montana," said Deanna with a dramatic sigh, when Lulu got to school and everyone was talking about the early snow. The other girls, and boys too, were all wearing boots. Deanna's were topped with a fur ruff that matched her princess coat. Lulu's sneakers were soaked, and her feet felt like blocks of ice. She stood next to the heater until the bell rang. She thought about Serena's sneakers and Serena's feet and how cold Serena must feel. She thought about what she would do about boots and wondered whether the Lutherans had any boot giveaways. She thought about Daddy. She thought about what she ought to do now. Almost a week, and not a word, not a peep. Last time it had been a month, and they'd gotten through it. But last time, Lulu and Serena were with Aunt Ruth in Aunt Ruth's honest-to-goodness house in warm, hot Texas, and not in an RV park in a suburban with coming on winter in small-town Montana. Alone. And with almost no money. Maybe over the weekend at the library, she could do an internet search for her daddy. Maybe she should go to the police. But no, not the police. She didn't trust the police. Lulu wasn't going to let them, the grown-ups in charge, separate her from Serena, which is what she knew they would do. And they'd put them each in some home somewhere, most likely not even in this town or together, and that home wouldn't be home, because there would be people there who didn't love them or even care much except about the money that they got for fostering, or that's what Lulu knew. That's what she'd overheard from Aunt Ruth and from kids she knew in the past, and she was pretty sure Aunt Ruth didn't want them, not at all. And if that happened, Lulu might never see Serena again, and Daddy would come back to the empty suburban in the RV park and ask, "Where? Where are you?" Like Lulu asked to the dark night now. Every night now. So no, Lulu was not going to let anything get between her and Serena. She just had to keep figuring out the details. Daddy used to say, before he went off that first time, right after the whole thing started, "One day at a time, girls. One day at a time." That's what she'd do. Take it one day at a time. One detail at a time. Checking the internet at the library on Saturday would be okay. And that gave her a small glint of hope. But first, she had to fake the note from Daddy so she could walk Serena home and not get Lori in trouble. Then she had to find boots. Miss Baker's voice broke through Lulu's thoughts. "Starting the writing team program next Monday. I'll be pairing you up with your partner." Quiet groans rose through the classroom, and quieter whispers as friends hoped to be paired with friends and not with her or him. At lunch, Jack plunked down across from Lulu and then didn't move, except to slowly slide his milk onto her tray, staring straight at her the whole time. "That was awesome, that thing yesterday," he said at last. That thing where he danced and she sang, and they had been somewhere else entirely, and she'd been someone else entirely, even for those few minutes. That magical thing they'd made together. That magical thing they were going to try and make happen again the next afternoon at the tryouts. Lulu nodded, and because she was pulled for that moment out of thinking about the other stuff, she smiled. Then the other stuff crowded back in. "I need a favor." Detail 1. Jack, his mouth filled with cornbread, nodded. "I need you to help me write a note." He wiped his face with the back of his hand. "Sure, no problem." Lulu slid the paper across the table. It was blank white, and she held a black pen. "I'll dictate, okay?" He squinted a second, then shrugged. "Oh, okay." "To whom it may concern." Jack leaned over and began to write. "Can you make it look like grown-up handwriting?" Lulu asked. What's grown-up handwriting?" "You know, neat and all." He watched her. Please let Lulu Johnson bring her sister Serena home from after school. Jack wrote, then sat back. Sincerely, John Johnson. Jack put down the pen. Wait, I'm writing a note from your dad?